Hi, welcome to the Hub. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the time allocation and when is the right time to apply for jobs. I think one of the challenges that I'm hearing and seeing from people that are searching for jobs is how time consuming it can be, and how actually finding the time to search for jobs is a challenge. So, look, I think the first thing I would say is you need to block yourself, um, an allotted amount of time. I think you don't want to do kind of a dip in, dip out, dip in, dip out. You need to put some dedicated time, into your job search. I think one of the challenges I think for people when looking for a job is if they're not doing it strategically, if they're doing it more ad hoc and they're doing it sporadically, you maybe you're not going to do it to the best of your ability. Maybe you're kind of doing it half-heartedly. So you're kind of dipping in, you're dipping out, trying to do it, in between doing other things. So I think you need to dedicate, an actual amount of time to your job search, and maybe dedicate that time every day if you can. So you've got a set routine, you've got a set time. You spend that time, you're methodical with it, you're strategic with it. You go over previous applications. So that brings me on to another point, which is you need to log all your applications. So who have I applied to? When did I apply? What's the status? Keep it methodical, a set amount of time. In terms of when that time should be, that's a challenging one because we're all busy. We've all got busy days. We might have children. We might have a day job. We might have commitments. So it's a difficult one to say you must do it at this time. I think personally, applying to a job the conventional way, so applying, online, applying for a website, applying for a job board, applying through LinkedIn, I don't necessarily think there's a right or wrong time to do it because you're essentially doing it online. I don't expect you to get an immediate response going down that route. If you are contacting somebody, so for example, you find a job online, you track down the company, you then locate via LinkedIn who you think the hiring manager may be, you want to connect them, you want to send them a message. The ideal time for that process to work would be within working hours. So it would be within when that person is working, when that person's likely to receive an email, when they're likely to receive an email. So I think in that sense, if you're going down that route, then the ideal time would be when they are active and when they're potentially, going to engage and respond. But obviously you can do that out of hours. They're still going to get the email. They're still going to get the email. They're still going to get the connection. They'll just come back to it later. So I think it's trial and error. I think, maybe try it in working hours if you can allocate that time to see if people are active, to see if people are going to respond. They might be online. You might catch them at the right time. If not, do it out of hours, But my biggest advice would be allocate, a set amount of time. I think like anything, if you're going to do it properly. I don't think doing it sporadically and doing it ad hoc, or quickly have a look for a job and then, you dip out and do something else and come back and you might look for another job. I think do it properly, track it, log it, keep a status of what you've applied for and when and what the latest is, and have you heard back? And if you haven't heard back, you can follow up. And there's a video I've done on how to follow up applications. So yeah, pick your time and try and stick to that time. Be methodical, and then try different times a day. Certainly, if you're trying to contact people directly, again, I think for me, if somebody sends me an email or a LinkedIn message in the day when I am working, I am active, and I am engaged, you've probably got more of a chance of getting a response from me to if I got one at midnight, wake up to it in the morning. I'm probably not really feeling on it yet, So do try different times. If you're going direct, if it's just an application online, do it whenever. But allocate the time, devote some time, block some time, track it, log it, keep it strategic, and you should get better results.